Postcast followers, welcome back. We move now to Ascot. Really good card at Ascot. I'll be there tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing a fascinating couple of Grade 2 races. The first of which is the Christie 1965 chase at 2:05, which features the wonderful grey turning white Smad Place. Rob Catterson, how do you bet?
Yeah, it's a real good race. It's right. We're 11-4 top notch, 3-1 about Smad Place. It's then 7's Flying Angel, 15-2 top Gamble. We're 9's Frodon, Regal Regatta and Justice Hill, 12's Double Shuffle, and Sizing Granite Sea Outsider at 16s.
OK, Maddie, in part one, DJ spoke beautifully, almost reduced me to tears about Q Card. I think you are now going to do the same about another popular veteran.
Well, I hope so, because I absolutely love Smad Place. We all love him, don't we?
We do.
He has his penalty, of course, for winning the old Roan, but he's always come on a lot for his first run. You remember Alan King thought he'd win the Hennessy, and he ran him first time out in that Hennessy. And the next year, he thought, no, I'll give him a prep run, and that's the year he won the Hennessy. So I think this is a great bit of prep placing, although he has that extra weight. I thought he'd have a good shout in the Hennessy if he ran it this year, to be honest. Yeah. They all need to improve to get to him. That's the skin and bones of it. I can see him going out in front and putting pressure on them with his jumping. You know he's going to stay at this sort of trip, so I think it would take a good one to peg him back. I think is Top Notch still in this? I don't think he is he?
No, he is. He is.
Oh, he is. So
I'm interested. Nico rides him, not Justice Hill.
Yeah. Well, even with the penalty, Top Notch still got £4 to find. So on ratings and how the race could just play out, I think Smart Place from the front, bold jumping round Ascot. You know he's going to stay. You know he's going to absolutely love it. And I think they're all going to have to go to get him. Double Shuffle is one that I thought was a bit of a big price, but it's a competitive race and he could well be playing for places.
OK, Rob, are you as enthused about Smad Places, Maddie?
Yeah, he's a great horse. I definitely give him a better chance than Q Card, but
you don't have to keep being nasty about Q Card, Rob. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just not on.
But anyway, let's. Yeah, I think. Listen, he's definitely got a good chance. Great to see him back the last day. There's probably a case that he's better left-handed than right-handed, but going back to that pre-runner race won by, you know what I mean, Harry. Obviously, Top Notch was a close third. He loves Ascot. He loves this ground. He's actually 2 from 2 at Ascot. You go back to his run in the JLT against York Hill. He'd never beaten York Hill, but you know that the horses behind him have franked the form since, and I think Top Notch is very solid, and I think he'll take an awful lot of beating in this. OK, Top Notch for Nicky and Nico for Rob. DJ?
Justice Hill for me, Lee. I know people will groan when they hear this, but we constantly just remember the Justice Hill from spring, where he has to run in left-handed races at Cheltenham, be it the Ryanair, or Aintree, be it in the Melling Chase. And that's our initial thoughts about Justice Hill when he starts every season. But when you go back through his form, he's 3 from 6 on right-handed tracks. He simply has to go right-handed. And I have a feeling first time out is going to be the time to catch him. He won at the time he won a graduation chase at Kempton last November in his return to action. And you kind of see, he just run a race, nothing to shout about. He absolutely hammered Camping Ground. He's a 159 rated hurdler. He came out next time at Huntington, another sharp right-handed track. And he won the Peterborough chase effortlessly. 6 lengths back to T for 2 in second. More of that was third, and Dodging Bullets was 4th. For a 5-runner race, it was pretty hot, and he was breathtaking that day. Then he ran in the King George. He was beaten 7 lengths by Thistlecrack. Again, nothing to be too ashamed about. And then we're into the spring festivals, where he was obviously disappointing behind On the So in the Ryanair. But again, he was bang there turning in. And again at Aintree, he was there turning in. But he just doesn't like going left-handed, I think. I think 12-1 is a pretty big price. And I think he's the forgotten horse of the race. I think people forget about that Peterborough Chase win. And when you look through it, that's probably, at this stage, the best piece of form at this type of trip on a right-handed track. Yeah,
it looked a really wide-open race to me, that one. Fewer runners, but a classier affair at 2:40 for the Coral Hurdle, registered as the Ascot Hurdle race. It's had a fantastic roll of honour over the years. Some wonderful horses have won this one. Yanworth was a good winner last season. I've been previewing this for the Racing Post this morning. Just to give a few lines from the trainers. Philippe Hobbs was saying with Defi de Soy, they just felt that on balance, this was a better race to start him off in than the Great Wood Hurdle. Pretty clean-winded sort. Goes there plenty fit enough, although would come on a little bit for the run. Lamy Serge, Nicky Henderson was saying He was fantastic in the spring last season, won the French champion hurdle. They see him now as a 3-miler, but Nicky said if he ran over 3 miles first time out, he would tank like no one's business. No one would be able to hold him. They hope that over this trip, first time out, they'll go a bit quicker. He'll be able to settle. And I spoke to Andy Smith, one of the owners of Little Rockefeller, who was making the point that they reckon the horse will have come on a lot for his Weatherby run, and that they will try and test the stamina of Defi de Soy. It's a real humdinger. Rob, how do you bet?
Yeah, this is going to be an intriguing race tactics-wise. We're 8-11 about Defi de Soil. We're 130 Lammy Surge, 7-2 Little Rockefeller, and then you got the 2 rags, Dick Osimo's 33s, and Wakia is 40s.
OK, Rob, I know that Maddie and DJ here will take a differing position. So before we get their differing positions, what's your position? Does it differ?
It's going to be. It's definitely going to be a race where we're going to see how good Defi de Soil is. Like Little Rockefeller, we know front runs, but Wakia won't be hanging around either. And given that this is 2 mile 3, he's going to have to be ready to win this. Incidentally, only one of the last 4 Triumph Hurdle winners have won first time out the following season. So to me, he's going to be above average to win this. I think Little Rockefeller, with the benefit of a run, could give him plenty to think about, and I think he might just lower the colours of last year's Triumph Hurdle winner.
OK, now that takes us seamlessly into Maddie's point of view on this race.
Yeah, it does. I think from a betting perspective, you've just got to go with Little Rockefeller on the evidence that you've got. He's an absolutely massive horse. I've always wanted them to go chasing with him, but on that evidence, he's going to come on a lot from his first run of the season. He usually does. He pushed Yanworth very close in this last year, if you remember. He gets £6 from Lammy Surge, £3 from Defi de Soy. Seconds in the long walk and the Stayers Hurdle means he's got a great chance. As Rob mentioned, Wakia is a bit of a tearaway, so if he goes off nice and quick, that could set it up for Little Rockefeller, who stays really well. And I mean, if Defi de Soy is winning this easily, he is a proper champion hurdle horse, you'd have to think.
David, Maddie makes a point that from a punting point of view, you have to be with Little Rockefeller. Are you with Little Rockefeller?
Well, let's put punting to one side just for a second.
We're on a tipping postcast here.
You know what this is all about, don't you, DJ? I mean,
I'll come to that in a second. And maybe, both of them have made a pretty valid point, I suppose. But I genuinely will be absolutely devastated if Little Rockefeller is able to win this race. I think 9-1 Defi de Soy for the champion hurdle is probably generous, to be honest. If I was to give people advice this weekend, apart from backing Champers and Ice, I would advise them to back Defi de Soil at 9-1 for the champion hurdle. Couple of reasons. First of all, trying to find runners in the champion hurdle is a tricky feat. Faheen is favoured. Obviously, there's doubts about him. He was brilliant. He wins the race, obviously, if he turns up like he did at Punchestown last Sunday. You've got Bouvard there. Then you've got Mellon, who might or might not stay over hurdles. We don't know. After that, you're into York Hill, Min, Apples Jade, Lamini, Wicklow Brave and Yanworth. None of them are probably going to run in the race. So at this stage, it looks like it's going to be a very small field in the champion hurdle. I know we're only in November, but they are going to drop away, and it could be a small field. I think Defi de Soy is the best Triumph Hurdle winner I've ever seen. I thought he absolutely obliterated a really high-quality field. It'll probably take a while to find out how good the race was, but at the time, Mega Fortune looked a pretty solid Grade 1 performer. So did the likes of, Land of Hope and Glory, Bapam, Charlie Parks. I thought it was a decent race. I think his form stacks up. He'll be fine on the ground. I just think he has a touch of class. If Little Rockefeller is able to beat Defi de Soil over 2 mile 3 around Ascot, I'd be astonished, to be honest with you, because I think I know you can say that Little Rockefeller almost beat Yanworth, but Yanworth is one of these horses that something always almost beats him. He's not flashy, so I just don't. I can't take that form literally. I think Lammy Surge is a far better horse than Little Rockefeller as well. But I just worry, like Nicky said in your preview, Lee. I just wonder, is he going to be too fizzy first time out? Yeah. He has a tendency to take a real tug. I genuinely do think that Defi de Soil is the real deal, and I will be so disappointed if he doesn't win. It's not a betting race, but my advice would be to back him at 9-1 for the champion hurdle, because I think he could be about 11-2 afterwards.
There is logic in that, DG. I was a massive fan of Defi's last season. He was my one anti-post winning bet at the festival last year.
Very well done.
Well, no, everything else was diabolical, so it only really regained me a little bit of ground. But I think the case you make there, DJ, for backing him at 9-1 is interesting for the champion hurdle. The 3:15, the Sherbrooke handicap chase. How could you not love Cider Grugy? Was really good in this race too last year. Actually, Rob, what price is Cider Grugy?
Rob actually hates Sire de Grugy.
He hates Sire de Grugy. Hang on. Rob hates Sire de Grugy.
Slight over-exaggeration.
Smab, please.
He hates you hate cue cards, Smab. Did you not enjoy Bambi as a kid, Rob? Were you not touched by that?
His heart has been torn out.
Yeah. Do you know, I can't even watch a scene in Billy Elliot where he leaves his granny without going to pieces. So how you guys can not like these? Rob, what have you got against Sire de Grugy?
No, I don't really. Listen, he's a great horse, but listen, he hasn't been to Sire de Grugy for a couple of seasons. I think he's very much in
this race last year. He was really good in this race last year. He dotted up.
Yeah, but compared to being a Grade 1 2-miler, you know, it's like all the good horses. Like even with Moscow Flyer, who's the best 2-miler we've ever seen, in his last season, just things didn't happen, and it happens to all the great horses with great respect to them. This is a race I don't have a massive opinion in. He may very well win because it's not a great renewal.
Yeah.
I'd give Dandridge a chance. He's looked to have a big day in him for a while. He's hit the crossbar in a couple of big festival handicaps. He mightn't like the ground, but I think the fact that Arthur Moore's sending him over, he might be value in what's a weak renewal. But listen, I'd be the first to be clapping if Sire de Grugy managed to win this, as I would with Q-Car, by the way.
Good man, well done, Rob. You sort of partly salvaged the situation there. Maddie.
No, similar. I've not got a massive opinion on this. I do like Quite by Chance, though. I mean, he's £3 higher than when chasing home Sire de Grugy in this race last year. But Sire de Grugy isn't getting any younger. As we've said, Quite by Chance, he saved his absolute best for this track and this trip. He ran a great race, travelling really well on reappearance behind Exitas here. He should be a lot sharper now, and he's got it all to do, but he just loves Ascot, so why not chuck him in there?
OK, DJ, and the winner is?
The winner is San Benedetto. I can't believe he's only gone up £2 for finishing second to Politolog in the Halden Gold Cup. Like, there were 25 lengths clear of the third that day, and Garde la Victoire was fourth. This is a real improving 6-year-old. The rest of them are all on the way down. This fella's on the way up. Bryony Frost takes off £5. He was brilliant at Ascot in April, where he beat Imperial Presence by 7 lengths that day. I think the handicapper is kind of, not taking his form on face value when he actually should. This is third run of the season. Everything is in his favour. He should be favoured.
OK. You're on form today, aren't you, David? You're really roused.
Yeah, none of these will win.
Before we get your naps, anything else around those two tracks, Ascot Hurdle, or anywhere else on Saturday that you like? Anybody?
Maddie? Yeah,
hang on a minute. Who's going to go first?
I'm not bothered, I'll wait.
DJ, go first then.
I think Clandas Obo will win the 115 at Haydock. I think a flat track is his bread and butter. I thought it was a really perfectly respectable comeback behind Whisper. He looked the winner. He was the moral winner of that race. He looked the winner for a long way. I think races like these he's going to mop up. He's a good jumper. He's a 5-year-old. I think he has a future ahead of him, and I think he'll win the 115.
OK. Clonizzo over in the £50,000 graduation chase, my word. Maddie.
12.55 at Ascot. Deauville Crystal. She's a filly that improved no end over hurdles at the end of last season. I was slightly frustrated when she went over fences because she gets all those allowances as a 4-year-old filly. I expected a bit more, but last time at Sandown behind a really good horse of Nigel Twiston-Davis's called Jameson, she was ridden out the back, almost like a bit of a no-hoper in a way, but she caught the eye staying on well. This is her first attempt at 3 miles, and I think the step-up in trip could see her go well. Again, just with that massive weight pull, it's very, very tempting to me.
OK, excellent, guys. Have we reached the point where we're happy to give you your naps now?
This will not be beaten.
Well, the producer's played the jingle now, so you've got no choice. You've got to give us your naps. Who wants to go first? Rob, go first.
Right, top notch in the 205 at Ascot. I think you'll make it 3 from 3 at Ascot, top notch.
OK, Maddie.
Gautreau Joe is in the 12 at Haydock. He should have won his second point when he fell. He probably needed the run on his rules debut at Warwick, where he was hampered twice in the first 2 furlongs and he was way too keen. He was thrown into the deep end at a maiden hurdle at Cheltenham last time. They didn't go a great gallop. He was held up. I think Harry Skelton was trying to get him to settle. But the progress he made, the key thing here is from just before 2 out, he was absolutely electric. By that time, the leaders were already away. The winner, Slate House, has since gone on to win that Grade 2 at Cheltenham. Yeah. And Dons Levent, who he only just was behind in second, has won by 6 lengths at Market Raisin yesterday. Gautreau Joe, I think he'll be a good price as well.
Good, strong case. And DJ?
Champers on Ice, 225 Haydock.
If you hadn't done that one, then whatever you did do would have been like a monumental now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've been waiting on this for a long, long time, Lee.
Oh, do you know, I'm going to enjoy this one for you tomorrow, DJ. Fingers crossed for him, fingers crossed for all the naps. One more commercial break.